Welcome to storyboard class. And since I already have my storyboards already created, because I did this project back in July or June of 2014, I can't really remember, I will show you a little bit of process that I do when I'm doing storyboards. So let's say, for instance, I'm not using Storyboard Pro 4 by Toon Boom just yet. Right now we're in Sketchbook Pro. The first thing I'm going to do is I want to gather all my characters that are going to be in my storyboards, or at least the characters are going to be in my pages that I need to storyboard. So I'll import my characters. I already imported them, so I have them on layers right here on the right hand side. So first thing I do is I have my characters. So these are the 3 characters that I'll be using in this storyboard project. And these characters are available for you to use for this project for your class assignments if you want to, or you can create your own. But right now, if you need something to draw, these characters are available for you from Studio.Guetsu, and for this project they have allowed us to use these characters. So on your left you have Epi, on your right you have Kak, and in the middle you have Sylvie. So once I have my characters, I know what they look like. I would constantly turn on this layer so I have reference of what these characters look like. So I also have a background, a really quick crappy background that I painted in Storyboard Pro. And this is just to give me an idea of what the field might look like that they're playing on. So turn it off, and I'll keep toggling these characters on and off. So you want to create a layer, and you want to paint your background a matte gray. A light gray is fine, a dark gray is fine as well, but in Storyboard Pro they already have a dark gray as default for this background, so I created a lighter gray, so I separate the two so I know where my framework is. So first thing I would do is I would create a bunch of boxes, not necessarily at the correct aspect ratio, but if I turn on this layer, you can see all the frames that represent shots. And these are all in something like a 4:3 aspect ratio maybe. So the ones on the bottom are just title cards. So these are just title cards down here, which is part of the credits. So when I do my storyboards, especially if I'm doing them in like a Sketchbook Pro, I do use a light blue color to sketch with. So later on you'll see me basically tying down these drawings. And tying down basically means that they're finishing black line art, and possibly doing some coloring if the project or the job consists of color boards or color animatic. So this story I kind of created on the fly, and there wasn't a real script involved. I was kind of pressed for time. I think the deadline was maybe, I don't know, 3 days or 4 days that I found out about this Nickelodeon competition. So I kind of just used a bunch of characters that I created and just use these characters for this specific project that I submitted to Nickelodeon. So unfortunately for me, this show wasn't picked up, or the idea wasn't picked up, but they did send me a nice email, and I'm grateful for that. So these are just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The first 12 cuts within my short. So I have the cuts from the other for the rest of the 2 minutes. But this is basically the bare bones process of what I do. And story-wise and coming up with different shots, like I said, I kind of just came up with these on the fly. It's a little stream of consciousness, but I did put a little effort into thinking about what the characters should be doing and what I might find funny within a 2-minute span. So just remember to constantly refer back to your characters when you're doing your tying down of your storyboards, and to have your characters available to you when you're doing that, so you don't get jumbled up and you don't confuse the people who are going to be animating or doing the layouts for your animation, even yourself. So keep that in mind, and we're going to jump over to Storyboard Pro, and I'll show you the process of cleaning up the animation. Cleaning up the storyboards for animation.